Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Centre. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the free practice session for round 4 of the Adrenaline Impact iRacing Malaysia Championship here at the legendary WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I'm going to be your host for this evening, Matthew Palmer, and do stick around for some action coming right up. We're about 25 minutes away from the qualifying, the practice qualifying and the practice race that we tend to have on these wonderful Friday evening. And yeah, for those of you guys just joining us, don't be afraid to leave a like and a comment down below and share your thoughts with us. And in the meantime, we will be watching the action right there on the racetrack, and we'll try and read the comments out, give us our reactions to your reactions, if you will. And whilst you're down there commenting, do like the page and share it with your friends. Special shout out to our sponsors, Works Engineering, and we have a new sponsor, I believe, OE, as well
Oregon.
as Oregon Engineering. So,
hi guys.
that right there is our director, Carol Alang, sitting laid back. We're cruising through the very complicated task of camera searching and making sure I've actually got something to see. And so yeah, back to our sponsors: Works Engineering, Oregon Engineering, Stream.my, Simology, Pico Media, Sim Racing Enthusiasts, Startup Motorsports, and Interformula. Now we're just watching Samir Aizan go through turns 1 and into the Andretti hairpin. Turn 2, it's a double apex left-hander. Going to be nice and careful on the exit because the road sort of rushes up to meet the car at the exit there into turn 3. Very tricky corner there. It's going to be very difficult to try and get the car nice and settled. Turn 4 looks like turn 3 on the entry, but it's very, very fast right-hand kink. Then flat out through this, not quite a straight, through the footbridge and into turn 5, which has a nice camber to it. It's almost banked, if you will, and we can really carry a lot of speed through there. And now into turn 6, this whole section known as the run-up into the most famous section in American motorsports. That is Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca's infamous corkscrew. Absolutely blind coming in. You've got to slow down a lot more than you think because the road drops away from you. You've got to really control the oversteer on the exit and into Rainy Curve. Very, very fast left-hander. You can see the dust that gets picked up on the inside, and you can see the challenge of Rainy Curve just as bad as the corkscrew when it comes to oversteer. It's really a case of trying to get your throttle position right. Meanwhile, we've got Rashid Rydell coming out onto the field. We've got about 15 cars right now, I believe, entered into the...
Yeah, in the server there's 21 right now.
21?
Yeah.
So we'll expect to see a few more guys come out and make their flying laps fairly soon. We know that a lot of the guys have been practicing quite hard in private practice sessions to try and get their lap times down. The field is definitely getting more and more competitive. As we were sort of discussing privately earlier in the evening, we had like something in the region of 26 cars within the same time bracket. At the previous racetrack, Lime Rock Park, I believe it was 102, that had 26 cars sort of timed at a 1 minute 2 second lap, so that's going to be really quite a challenge. Afisul Jai, otherwise known as Jai Bluebird, coming into the Andretti hairpin. He's probably getting his eye in right around now in the championship, getting used to the cars and the grip driving. He is better known in motor racing circles as a bit of a drifter. Who knows, maybe one day we'll see a compilation video of him drifting the MX5 around these tracks, because it does look to be quite fun out there. Right now Jai's in 5th position. It looks like the Android King SSAD team is doing quite well for themselves. They've got some pretty quick drivers amongst them, including Shaiful Arifin, who has been very, very fast, but just a little bit unlucky throughout the course of the season. And it's looking like it's going to be quite a bit of an ask to try and catch up to the leader of the championship, which I believe is Ilham Halabi. So there you see him, Shaiful Arifin, in the 998 machine. Looks like they're doing a bit of tandem practice, just driving around and following each other around, perhaps giving the team members some advice. Advice such as not to go too wide on the exit through there. And it looks like it's going to be a very slow run up to the line. This track, even though it's quite small, it really is a power track. The car spends a lot of time climbing up the hill, and when you do go downhill, it's only for a very short amount of time. So with these momentum cars, it really is all about getting the exit onto the next straight as good as possible. It's a real nice challenge to drive, and if any of you guys are into sim racing, you can probably vouch for the fact that more than anywhere else, this track really does demand very good exit speed. Now to our championship leader, Ilham Halabi. Started the season off as a one-man team and has now been taken in by Todat Motorsports. They'll be very happy with his performances so far, and it looks like that team has gone they managed to get themselves a real boost coming up the field. You can see Ilham's style, very nice, smooth, committed. He's using every single millimeter he can on that curb to try and get enough space to turn in. All the curb on the exit. It's very, very smooth, precise driving here from Ilham Halabi. Is really showing his class coming into these high-speed corners. Barely puts a wheel wrong, and you'll see coming up into the corkscrew section here, especially in that camera angle, you can really see that the road is blind. You have to brake before you see the corner, and by the time you turn into the first corner, you would have known whether you have made a good corner or a bad corner by the way you've turned in. So it's really very, very challenging piece of track. It's something that you couldn't really recreate nowadays anywhere else, simply because of the FIA regulations, but we're really glad that we see these guys grandfathered in. Farhan D Sport. Hi Ajib. Hi Farhan. We'll pass the message along. We'll put the pit board out.
Farhan is our friend, my old friend from Kelisa Club.
K-car guys. I used to be a K-car guy as well, but I wasn't with the Kelisa guys. I was with the Kanchil boys. So.
Let's move on to Dominic.
Yeah, see how he's going down there in 7th position. He's on his outlap. He'll want to try and improve his lap time just a little bit. You can see the car struggling to accelerate up the hill. Then you come into this section where you really can't see anything until you have to brake, and you really have to sort of figure out where you turn in and where you come out. Looks like Dominic went a little bit wide going through the second part of the corkscrew. The way I've always done it is to try and aim for the apex, brake, turn in off the throttle, and wait for the second part of the corner, wait until the road levels out before hitting the throttle. That way you can use the compression in the road as a sort of a mechanical downforce to help you put the power to the road, but it seems every race driver I ever talked to seems to have a slightly different take on the infamous corkscrews. Really is a challenge trying to get that corner just right.
let's see how's our runner-up in the championship is Ahmad Norazam.
Ahmad Norazam, yeah. Not only is he the runner-up in the championship, but I do believe the Outer House FCR team is the current team leader.
Yeah.
In the team's standing. So they've done very well for themselves. I noticed they've quite often finished 4th, 5th, 6th, or 3rd, 4th, 5th. Very, very consistent. They definitely have a game plan coming into the races. Their strategy, their pit lane strategy is on point, and everything seems to be smooth sailing for these guys. So Ahmad Norazam, he's the man with the best chance of trying to overhaul the gap to Ilham Halabi. And well, you never say never in motor racing, but it looks like Ilham's going to be quite hard to catch over the final few races of the season. You can see that Ahmad Norazam a little bit more aggressive than Ilham coming through these corners here, but he still manages to get very, very good lap times. And what matters for Ahmad is his race pace has always been very, very good. So he's had good pit lane strategy, he's got good racecraft, as well as a general sense of awareness, which has always stood him in good stead and put him into that second position. Azwil Nazli there, he's currently in 9th. We've had him have that fantastic commentary for Tsukuba circuit, which was really rather interesting, talking to him about the quickest ways through the corners. He's now in 9th position, but don't let that fool you. He's only about a second and a half off the leader, and he's only just getting warmed up, so we'll see him get quicker as the evening gets longer. Coming up through the VP Racing footbridge into the fast left-hand kink and the run up to Corkscrew. It'll be interesting to see how he takes this. Coming up again, you can barely see what's ahead of you on the road. Absolutely blind apex. You've got to get the car aimed at that first apex into the second apex, neatly around the third. He gets on the throttle as the road levels out. You have that big compression. The car sort of jumps onto its lock stops on the suspension. It's on full compression, and you can really hammer the throttle at that point and really get the grip and the traction to come out of the corner much faster than you otherwise would on a corner like that. So that's some very smooth, very classical driving style of Azrael Nazli for the SSAD Go Racing team.
Let's go on to another uncle, Tengku Izan.
Yes, Mr. 10 himself. And we'll see him going through the corkscrew there. Lots of curb on the inside on the first section. Keeps the car basically in the middle of the road. That's what you sort of want coming out of the corkscrew. You don't necessarily want to go all the way to the end of the road because the road levels out a bit there. There's a bit of banking on the exit of the corkscrew and at the rainy curves, which is the corner directly after the corkscrew. And you really want to make sure that the traction coming through there is perfect. So you want to be on the right side of the track, which is generally speaking the middle of the track coming out of the corkscrew, so you can change direction. But Tengku Izan, he's had a bit of an up and down season. Someone throws cones at him on the road. And one thing's for sure, he does like to enjoy himself with his racing, both in real life and in sim racing as well. He's had quite a lot of fun, I'm sure. Quite a lot of dices up and down the field. Been a little bit unlucky in some places, but nevertheless enjoying himself out there. Eddie Adrian in the Paduan SRC car. Now this is a team that has been improving steadily throughout the course of the season. It's nice to have them on board for the series. See Eddie Adrian there, again, very nice and smooth, calculated driver. He's another one of those drivers that tends to do better in the race than in qualifying or practice. He's not one of those one lap magic kind of drivers. He's more of a calculated, long distance kind of drive. see then he's down in 12th position, 41.9, almost 2 seconds behind. I'm sure he'll improve by the time the practice session is up, and another 10 minutes or so to go before the start of qualifying. So for those of you who've just joined us, don't be too shy. Do leave a comment down in the comment section below. And as he just takes a big cut through the second part there, just to try and save the car. Because if you've gone too wide and you try and make the second part of the corkscrew, you do generally tend to spin. So sometimes the wisest thing to do is to try and just bail out of the corner, cut the corner, and just take the incident points. It can be a little bit frustrating, but sometimes that's better than causing a big accident. Cheryl Northwood there in the Rd4 Drag esports car. Like I was saying, do leave us a comment down below. Don't be shy. Tell us what you think about the entire series so far, and what your hopes are for your favourite driver coming into this special round 4 here at Laguna Seca. And whilst you're there, leave us a like on our page, and do share it with your friends. Hopefully they'll find this just as entertaining as we have found it over the course of these last few weeks. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring these guys up and running. But yeah, Cheryl Norafudin, Rd4 Drag esports. You have the Farhan again. Good luck, Shami Aizan Muhammad Hanapia, Cheryl Norafudin. So you got a fan there with Farhan. Thanks for that. We're starting to see, especially in the Sunday streams, a lot of fans who are not just fans of the series, but fans of the individual teams. It's been absolutely interesting to see that there has been sort of fan bases for each of the teams coming through the event, and it's been quite entertaining to watch. Freddie Ang there in the number 16 Uncle Racing team. I mean, we were all thinking about it, but I suppose you didn't have to name the team Uncle Racing Team. But it's nice of them to let us know where they stand. Nevertheless, these guys are quite quick drivers. I've known several of them going in real world racing, the MCS and the MSF Racing Series. Dominic Ang has been doing very well in Asian motorsports, and I know Ruben Wong quite well from his exploits as an engineer and a touring car driver. He's very, very good at both. Meanwhile, we see Jezrin Jali. There's another man who's probably had more than his fair share of bad luck throughout the course of the season, but that hasn't stopped him from being very, very quick, especially over one lap. It's a bit of a qualifying flyer. As you can see, he's third fastest with a 140.781. He's gone quicker, a 140.705 for Jezrin Jali. JJ, as he's known to his mates in the Outer House FCR performance car. This team, I must say, they have a stellar group of drivers racing for them. And like I say, the team strategy is on point, and they really do deserve that nice, comfortable, cushy lead up at the front of the leaderboard in the teams category. But nevertheless, there is, you never say never in motorsports, and they'll definitely be counting the laps down to the end of the championship. Meanwhile, Faiz Aslan in the Padawan SRC car, just getting the car a little bit too sideways coming out of Rainey Corner. So named after Wayne Rainey, the motorcycle world champion, who is one of the masters of the two-stroke 500cc era, and he really made this track his own throughout the years that they've run the two-stroke world MotoGP championship around Laguna Seca. Well-known, well-loved track amongst motorcycling fans around the world, with its challenges, the elevation change, and the unforgiving runoff areas. Nevertheless, it's a very high grade of track. In FIM terms, it's a full World Championship grade track, even though it doesn't necessarily look at it from some from some angles, but yeah. The track's also quite old. As you can see there, Ilham Halabi making that overtaking move on Izan to try and get a clean lap around the track. The track is fairly old. Oh, as you can see there, he's blinked a little bit there. That's just a little bit of a network issue. We call it netcode in sim racing, when the car just removes itself from the screen a couple of times, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but looks like Ilham Halabi has actually improved his internet connection quite a bit. It used to be quite bad, but now we can see him most of the time, so his rivals have been able to race him quite fairly, and it's been quite good. He's definitely earned his spot at the top of the leaderboard. Muhammad Shukran, right there in that red and white Mazda.
I think he just entered.
I was just going to say, I believe he's just entered the series as a privateer. We do still have some of those in the field. And we can see that. Oof.
It's not easy to drive an MX5.
And it's not easy to drive around the rainy curve because it's not a smooth radius around the corner there. The radius actually changes quite a bit. The corner opens up and then tightens up again. So it's very, very difficult to try and get the line through there correct. And very often you see a car that looks very planted coming through the corner suddenly spin out. And that's the third of the Arab Pro Drag cars. Malvinderjit Singh, their car number 92. He's very, very quick, but has had a couple of issues throughout the course of the championship, which moves him a little bit far down in the standings, although I'm sure he'll be able to improve by the time we rock around to the final round of the championship. Majid Hafiz now on track. He's about to go for a lap around the circuit. He's just about got back in time for qualifying. It appears that he was, I believe, out shopping at the at the time the service started, so he managed to run back and get some practice in with his new direct drive steering setup. I can't remember who supplied him with that.
It was Azman. SimR.
So yeah, the SimR guys doing a good job supplying a lot of the local aliens with their high-end 8040 rigs, aluminium rigs, and their direct drive steering system. The Sim Magic stuff really has caught my eye. I've only really had experience with the OSW and the Simicube stuff, which is a little bit finicky, let's say, and also with the Leo Bodmer stuff, which is brilliant but also way too expensive. So for a decent and, as I hear, very, very good steering setup, that's perhaps the man you want to talk to for your Simagic direct drive steering wheel setup. Majid Hafiz there, just getting the car a little bit crossed up. You're going to see a lot of cars make it through the corkscrew section quite well. Simply because it's such a well-known corner, people tend to be a lot more careful going through there. But the corner afterwards, the rainy corner, is so for if in there, that's well, I must say that's the first time I've ever seen someone park the car on top of the tire barrier. That's I'm going to make an educated guess and say he's missed his braking point.
Come on, let's screenshot this.
That's going to go next to the screenshot of Calvin Ha's attempts at looking like an alien at Okayama, and the jumps that we had coming off, I believe, at Summit Point. I don't know if you can get a replay on that. That's
yeah. Let me try. I think we can. Why is he still hanging there?
He's waiting for us to probably get the screenshot in. I was trying to blow up the blow up the engine there is perhaps a little bit miffed at the fact that he's managed to end up on top of the tyre barrier.
He's been there quite some time. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So there we see the replay of what happened.
Oh, let's go slow mo.
Um,
I think he intended to do this.
well, I must say I would have reckoned that he wouldn't have been able to do that again if he tried, but it looked like he got that done just right. Clipped through the tyre barrier and ended up on top of the
Just in time for qualifying.
wheels. It's okay, in sim racing you get a free car. So there we go, the cars are now lining up in the pits to head out for the qualifying session. Looks a bit dark and ominous out there, but I believe we're going to have a dry qualifying session. See Dominic Ang leading out his teammate. I believe that would have been Freddie.
I don't know why it's still in replay, but yeah.
The VHS system needs just there we go. You know, with these old VHS players, you got to give them a little bit of a smack on the side before they resume playing at normal speed.
So I finally got the map up. I was trying my best to get it up, and their race time is quite on sunset time, so
All right,
it's quite a challenge. But
we might see them racing into the night then.
they might be using the low times for advantage. Maybe.
Perhaps they're trying to get those lap times down as far as they can. Because just to explain, we have a select secret group of drivers that help us set up the Friday practice sessions. We won't name them, spare them their blushes. But as with most racing drivers, they want the air temp cool, the track temp cool, and for them to warm up the tyres themselves by driving absolutely flat out. But we'll see Dominic Ang towing his teammate. I believe that's Freddie behind him. Climbing up through the field there. He's going to hit about 180 kilometers an hour just before breaking in and diving into this double left-hander. That's the Rd4 hairpin. Double apex corner. He's got to watch out for the cars coming out onto the racing line. He won't be slowed down too much through turn 3 here. You can see the sausage curbs there really causing a bit of drama. See the cars moving out the way just to make sure that the guys have a nice cruise through the field there. Nazmi is now on provisional pole, followed by Michael Fires and Sopian, but we'll see what Dominic Ang can do. Rydell goes 151.850. It'll take a while for these guys to get the temperatures into the tyres. It'll probably be 2 or 3 laps before they get a really fast time. Looks like Dominic there just gone a little bit squirrely and a little bit out of line there. He'll have to go again. As he comes into the braking zone here, you've got to brake basically in a straight line, aimed directly at the apex. You've got to use the curb on the left-hand side to aim for the curb at the right-hand side. You can see here, rainy corner. It's a very three-dimensional problem trying to get out of this corner here. And very, very often you'll see cars spin out just as the road goes straight. It almost looks like they've lost control of the car in a dead straight line. That's the challenge with the rainy corner. Coming into the final turn there, you've got to really use that curb. Dominic, however, just using that curb just a little bit too much on the way into we'll have the time eventually. Oh no, he's in his outlap, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe. Let's go on the next guy.
Ezan.
Yeah, Izan just...
So Ezan has now gone provisional pole with a 142.006. So we'll look for the pole time to perhaps be in the 140s or maybe even a 141. Eddie Adrian there with a 142.112. And yeah, I believe it was Freddie Young that was following Dominic up the hill. That's Shami Aizan going out on a fast lap. You can definitely see he likes to throw the car into the corner a little bit more compared to his teammates. Almost doing sort of a very faint Scandinavian flick in some places, just to use as much curb as possible and shift the weight of the car around to help the car turn in. Really likes to use the curves of the track as well, so it's quite an entertaining drive from Shami Aizan. I do have to say some of the car numbers throughout the field have been quite entertaining, but I think Shami Aizan gets the prize for best car number.
Matt, I'm gonna be away just for a sec. Okay.
That's alright. So we'll ride on board with Shami Aizan for the time being. As you can see, the cars are going off the road there, Rainey's curve. Again, it's probably the harder corners to get right on a very quick flying lap. You can see there Dominic Ang, 141.782. He moves into provisional pole position. There's going to be another 5 minutes left. We can see the times start tumbling down to Guizan, a 141.5. Aizan in the meantime has gone quickest, 141.406 is the time to beat. He's in provisional pole there. As you can see, the smooth yet aggressive driving style really working out for Shami Aizan.
Oh yeah, that's good.
We just happened to be on the right car at the right time to witness that one. He was definitely pushing the car quite hard. It may not look it, but he's definitely being very aggressive, and I think he's pushing really hard right now to try and shave a few extra tenths through there.
Let's go over to Dominic.
Dominic right now, he's dropped down to the third position. He'll want to go and try to gain that pole position back.
I hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah. 141.354. It does look like it's going to rain, doesn't it?
But there's no rain in iRacing.
Well, yeah, thank goodness for the Americans. They do tend to have a little bit more sensibility when it comes to the rain. They just go inside and have a drink instead. At least they're not in Malaysia, where you try and race still with 2 inches of water on the road. And that's why we have motorcycle races that have nicknames like El Pescado.
Fish.
Means the fish. It used to tickle me a bit when someone says, this motorcycle rider is from your country. We call him the fish. I was like, well, okay, that makes sense.
Dominic goes up to third.
So, yep, he's up to third. He had a provisional pole. He's dropped it. He's now done a 141.5. That's an improvement. Afizul Jai now is in provisional pole position with a 141.354. That is your man in pole at the moment, with another 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go before the end of qualifying. So now is when you'll expect to see some of the really quick times start coming through. We have a lot of drivers in the 141 bracket, top 6, and another 6 drivers in the 142 bracket as well. So it looks like Sunday's race is going to be a very, very close fought affair. And for those of you guys wondering, this will be the practice session, practice qualifying and practice race for the main event this Sunday at about 9:30. We'll go live around 9:30. The race starts at 10. Sorry, the qualifying session starts at 10 and the race will start at just after qualifying on the 5th of July. So this is next Sunday. We hope to see all of you wonderful people out there.
Did you see that? Did you see what he did? He braked nearby the
right at the finish line. Both Saiful Arifin and Ilham Labi have this wonderful habit of appearing to do what is perhaps the fastest lap ever. They look like they're going for the overall lap record, and they'll stop just before the start-finish line just to make a point. You gotta like the head games that these guys play. It's absolutely entertaining. But it looks like it's going to get really dark. It'd be nice to see these guys out out at night, to be fair. And I must say, the headlights on this generation of Mazda MX-5 are really nice. Almost gives the car an almost Maserati-like air. And for those of you still watching, do leave us a comment down below, and we'll do our best to respond during the race if we see it. Right now we have official Jai in 141.258. So he's gone quicker still. He's 0.2 of a second faster than everyone else. Malvinderjit Singh has just done a 141.9, and qualifying is done. Official Jai has the pole position, followed by Shamir, Faiz, Saiful, Dominic, Izan, Freddie, Malvinderjit, who we're watching here in 8th position, and Adrian, along with Rashid Rydell in 10th position. Don't know if Malvinderjit will be able to get through there. Alif Lamim, gelapnya cuaca, yeah. Unfortunately, the Bomo didn't come today, so couldn't stop the rain. Although, to be fair, in iRacing we don't have rain, as we were just discussing just now. So perhaps we'll have a nice little evening to night race. Perhaps a little bit of a teaser of the things to come. All I'm going to say is keep August the 30th, I believe.
Yeah.
Keep that date. Keep that date open. We're going to have a really fun little event. So do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact for more information on that. Meanwhile, Jasri Junos in 19th position. He's looking to try and finish up his lap just a little bit faster than a 144.723. It really does look like they're going to have to start putting roofs on these Miatas before they come out. The skybox doesn't look promising.
Okay, they should be starting their grading soon.
Yep, it looks like pretty much all of the cars have finished their lap. So for those of you who've just joined us, we're in the Free Practice 1 race. The free practice race for round 4 of the Malaysian iRacing Adrenaline Impact Malaysia Championship, or the Adrenaline Impact iRacing Malaysia Championship. Yes, even the commentator is going to practice. We're at the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. This legendary track, 3.5 kilometers long, with 228 meters of altitude difference between the start line and the corkscrew section there, between the top of the corkscrew and the bottom. That's the highest and lowest part of the circuit. You can see there, absolutely stunning set of corners. And the rest of the lap is no slouch either, I can tell you that much. We're going to have quite a lot of fun today with official Jai, the aka Jai Bluebird, in pole position, followed by Shami Aizan, car number 4 so far. The car is definitely found. We don't worry about that. Faiz Aizlan is in 3rd position, followed by Shaiful Arifin, who's 4th. He definitely did not want to be on the front row of the grid for whatever reason. Dominic Ang is in 5th. Tinku Ezan is in 6th position, followed by Freddie Ang, Malvinderjit Singh, Eddie Adrian, Rashid Rydell, Azril Nazli, and Ruben Wong in 12th. Followed by in 13th position, Sharon Norfuddin, Farizal Akmal, Tramizi Yusuf, Nazmi Mazli, Sopyan Said, Mohammad Shukran, Jasri Junos, Michael Hafiz, Ilham Labi, Jason Jali, and Ahmad Norazam, with Faisal Alang in 24th position. So let's see all these guys getting ready to grid up. We see the 5 red lights go on, and it's go, go, go from the rest of the field. Official Jai gets a good launch off the grid, but Shami Aizan has a better start off into turn 1. It looks like Shami Aizan gets the lead into the first corner. Meanwhile, they're 3 wide with 2 URT racing cars behind. But it looks like Shami Aizan has managed to steal the lead from Afizul Jai. Faiz has gone up into 3rd position. Dominic has a fantastic start there, but Ezan looks like he's dropped down a little bit. Ruben Wong has a fantastic start as well. We've got movers and shakers all the way up and down the field. Looks like Ilham Labi is managed to find himself at the very bottom of the field, behind Faisal Alam, although I'm sure he'll be able to make some moves up there. It looks like the 3 URT cars are running in line with the SSAD cars, and the 1 RAB Pro Drag car right in front of him is Jezrin Jali. Shahril Norifudin. It looks like Freddie Young going in from the inside. It looks to be big curb hop there coming up to the top of the hill. That's going to rob Freddie of a lot of speed coming up into the corkscrew section there. He's going to get past left, right and centre. You have to get that corner at the bottom of the hill absolutely right in order to not lose any places at all coming up the corkscrew. Meanwhile, Afizul Jai there, he was our pole sitter, but he's dropped down to 2nd position. It looks like Shamir Norifudin is running away with it up front. Dominic Am in 4th position. Has Saiful Arifin right behind him. He's under a lot of pressure. It looks like he's going to go and try to make an overtaking move happen. Looks like Dominic might dispatch Faiz up ahead there. Saiful Arifin follows him through, and it looks like he's going to try and set up a pass coming into the first corner there. There's 3 cars all going into a space where there's really only enough room for 1. And it looks like Dominic Ang has gone for the defensive line going through there. And Saiful Arifin has given up another place to Faiz, making it really tricky for him to try and get back there, dicing around in 4th and 5th position. Meanwhile, Ilham Halabi is starting his battle from the rear of the grid. He's already gone from the very back of the grid up to 17th position. Are we watching Ilham Halabi do another one of his last to first challenges that he likes to do on these FP1 races? Looks like he's going to do that now. He's really going off after those curbs quite hard. He's really attacking those sausage curbs. Meanwhile, up ahead you can see Jasmine and Sopian dicing, dogfighting up ahead. That's going to be the next challenge for Ilham Halabi, to try and overtake these 2 guys as they come up into the as we go into the corkscrew section there. Faiz Aslan has dropped a place, and it looks like Saiful Arifin is starting to pull away. He's going to now try and bring the fight to Dominic Ang. Faiz Aslan though isn't going to give up without a fight. He's going to push the car as hard as he can. I must say the Monterey countryside is looking very, very pretty at night. It almost looks like something out of Call of Duty game at this point. But the cars lighting up the track quite nicely indeed, going through the first corner there, the flat out left-hander over the brow. Azwil Nazli in the meanwhile, he's in 8th position and he is chasing down Freddie Ang. Looks like he's going for that overtaking maneuver. Freddie doesn't contest it. He leaves enough space, but he just squeezes Azwil Nazli back behind him. Still good clean fighting right there. And it looks like Azwil Nazli will have to wait for the next braking zone in order to try and make that overtaking maneuver stick. You see how close he is to the back of Ruben Wong as they're coming into this next braking zone here. Let's see if he can make this work. Dives into the inside, but Ruben there still managing to make him keep the position. Meanwhile, Mustafa Yahya saying, "Fuh, baiklah korang buat macam ni. NASCAR pula lepas ni. Jom." I don't mind. I started out in iRacing in the oval stuff. Muhammad Muhaimin, pukul berapa track time? Sorry tak dapat join malam ni. Alah.
Maghrib. Dah maghrib
7:30 lah kan.
I think the sunset is around 6 plus here.
Yeah,
so
it'll be 6:30.
This should be around 7, I think. Nearing to 7.
Yep. So it's a pity we don't have Muhammad Muhaimin joining in the fight this evening, but we will see him out there on the track. And on Sunday, 5th of July, we'll start our broadcast at around 9:30. The qualifying and racing starts at 10, so we will see you there hopefully. But in the meantime, that comment about the NASCAR rig, who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll start up an iRacing Oval Championship right here for the Malaysians. Or if all else fails, we'll just start the C-Fix truck race Any of you iRacing veterans would know that the C-Fix truck race is the closest thing we have in iRacing to banger racing. With more damage caused in that particular category than in any other form of motorsports you can get on iRacing. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be at 7 o'clock. Yeah, it's pretty much nighttime for California at this time of the year, so it all checks out. Meanwhile, Azra Nazli is still pushing hard to try and get past Ruben Wong. Again, the real tricky part is going to be climbing up the hill here. Can he make the Andretti move, stick through here? No, he chooses not to try and go for the overtake into the corkscrew section. And it looks like Ruben Wong gets a lot more speed coming through the corkscrew than Azra Nazli does. So we can see where Ruben is making time up in comparison to Azril. Azril looks like he's very fast through the final few corners, and they're always putting Ruben Wong in danger coming into the first corner. And meanwhile, it looks like Saifurifin's getting really close to Dominic Ang as well, so we might see an overtaking maneuver here. Will it be the teammates? Looks like Ruben Wong is going for an overtake for on Freddie Yang. There's a good team play through there. Just because they're overtaking, it means that they can't see, and they've clipped. They've touched. It looks like Ruben, I believe that was Ruben Wong and Freddie and Azrael Nazli, all three of them off the road there. They're just going a little bit too close to each other. It looked like they had a fantastic little blocking strategy worked out there, but Azrael Nazli managed to find a bit of a gap, which unfortunately closed up as the cars went on the brakes. That's a very unfortunate incident. And it looks like that might be the end of their hopes for race victory for the three of those guys, which would be a real pity. Meanwhile, Sharon Orfudin is closing up to Ahmad Razam, who's closing up to Tinku Ezan. This is the battle for 6th position, and it looks like Tinku Ezan is under a lot of pressure from Ahmad Razam. There you can see Ahmad Razam go side by side. It looks like Tinku Ezan lost a bit of speed coming up. Will they make the overtaking maneuver? Stick coming in to the corkscrew section there, and yes, nice and smooth overtaking maneuver there pushes Amanur Azam into 6th position. Now Tinku Ezan has to really push hard to try and counter-attack through the rest of the lap. He's got another good overtaking maneuver coming into the final corner if he can get hard on the brakes. If not, he can set up another passing opportunity over the brow here, but it looks like Amanur Azam has the slight pace advantage. Tinku Ezan there having a little bit of bodywork damage. It's not going to help too much. There's not a lot of places to try and draft around here, but aerodynamics do still play a little bit of a part in trying to close up the gap to the car in front. Meanwhile, it looks like Ezan's car is understeering a little bit more than Norazam through the first sector. Meanwhile, Ahmad Faiz, Farhandi Sport there, replay. We'll have a look at that in a second, I suppose. But Faiz and Saiful Arifin both chasing Dominic Ang and Afizul Jai there. That's the battle for 2nd position for the podium places. Chame Aizan is really pulled off quite the lead. But Afizul Jai there in 2nd, Dominic Ang in 3rd, Saiful Arifat in 4th, and Faiz there in 5th. You can see there that coming in through there, it looks like Freddie just blocked, or Ruben rather, just blocked the path of Amanur Azam just a little, of
Azrael
Nazli there, a little bit too late, and that caused a bit of a chain reaction. I guess it just goes to show that when you're coming into a situation where someone's overtaking someone else, things can get a little bit hairy. But it looks like all of those cars involved in that unfortunate incident have managed to move their way back onto the field. We're getting a real serious IMSA endurance vibes here. It's almost like the 12 hour of the Laguna Seca 6 hours at this point. We're now fully into nighttime. It looks really rather haunting, don't you think?
Jai lost his position there.
Yes, and it looks like Dominic is in 2nd position. Saiful Arifin is in third, so I wonder why Visuljai managed to drop from second to fourth.
He just lost lost control at the corner there.
So that's a pity. I think we see Freddie there in the pits. I'm not sure if that's for repairs or if he's just practicing. We'll see a couple of the guys practice pit stops throughout this race. Just for more information as to the time lost through the pits, that's just yet more information that they can take from pre-practice into the main race on Sunday at 10 p.m. We'll go live at 9:30. Do catch us for that on Adrenaline Impact, both on YouTube and Facebook. Meanwhile, we're on board with Jesrin Jali as he makes an overtaking maneuver on Tamizi. Can he do it on Adrian as well? He decides not to take the risk, but he's still, I believe, got Tamizi within striking range there. He's got to give enough room for Tamizi to make a potential move. Now Jesrin Jali now has to chase Eddie Adrian through the final sector of Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, and try and close up again, but it looks like Adrian has just the pace advantage through the final part of the lap, and it looks like he might not be able to catch the leading, was that the Padawan Racing car there. Meanwhile, Azrael Nazli is back up and running again. He's in 10th position and following Cheryl Narafuddin. He's going to be a bit gutted with that maneuver coming into turn 1, but Cheryl Narafuddin getting a little bit squirrely coming on the outside. That's going to be a chance for Azrael Nazli to try and make that overtaking maneuver stick. He dives into the inside and manages to make that overtaking maneuver work. Whew. If we're having this much drama with 24 cars, imagine when we have the full field coming in on Sunday. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the race for sure. Meanwhile, we have Jasri there in 18th position, chasing Malvindajit up ahead. And it looks like Michael Hafiz is also behind him. They're about a second. There's about a second between the two of them, but it looks like Michael has managed to really close up the gap there. Jasri's got it a little bit wrong coming into that corner there, and that puts Michael into that half a second gap. That's when Jasri has to really concentrate on the car behind, and it looks like both cars have gone off. The mistake that Michael could have perhaps potentially taken advantage of, but unfortunately he's done what a lot of racing drivers have done, including myself, in sim racing and in real life. When the car in front makes a mistake and you follow him off the road, doing the exact same mistake as you're following, it's a very, very easy trap to find yourself falling into. Meanwhile, we're riding on board with Dominic Ang. You can see Saiful Arifin has managed to put himself into second position, but Shami Aizan has really pulled out a rather big lead coming into the halfway point of the race. It remains to see if Saiful Arifin has the pace to try and catch him up. 2.7 seconds between first and second place, and let's not forget Dominic Ang is still fairly close behind and could mount a attack. As you can see, he's in this whole entire group of cars, lighting up the Mazda Raceway at Laguna Seca quite a bit. As you can see, the rather interesting brake setup. Standard brakes at the back, big brakes at the front. The big brakes stay cool, the standard brakes overheat. So that's the explanation as to why the rear brakes are glowing instead of the front. Although, to be honest with you, around Laguna Seca, the front should really be glowing as well, I would imagine. Either that, or they've got the handbrake on still. We can't dismiss that particular possibility. Michael now, he's just recovered again, and he's battling alongside Faiza Alang, these two guys. Having met Faiza Alang is the safety car driver for Sabang Circuit, one of the safety car drivers. And yes, we did point that out to him once when he had that mistake coming off the road a couple of rounds back. But we're glad to see him battling alongside Michael Hafiz, also a real-life touring car driver in Malaysia here with the MSF and MCS series. As you can see there, we've got our new car tracking technology. And ooh, we've got a contact. Both cars sliding off the road there, just about caught it. Just about to say that was some of the most exciting racing I've seen, and that's only for 21st and 22nd position. And unfortunately, both cars fell off the road there, and that's going to be really rather disappointing for both those guys. Faisal Lang's gone immediately into the pits. Michael elects to carry on. But that's going to be the challenge. Most people reckon that the corkscrew is going to be the hardest corner on the track, but really, rainy curve, the corner right after corkscrew is going to be really, really tricky as well. Mustafa Yahya says, korang buat oval, aku subscribe balik iRacing. Not just you, bro. I also. For those of you not too sure, I'm usually more of a sort of Corsa guy when it comes to road racing, but I have done quite a bit of oval stuff on iRacing. And in the previous title, NASCAR Heat 2003, I'm basically a NASCAR Heat fan as well. So, yeah, if there is some oval racing, you might have to look for another commentator, because I'll have to join that. But yeah, Mustafa Yahya, you never know what we might be up to in the future. We're quite open to suggestions. And who knows, we might perhaps do a race with these MX5 cars around Bristol Motor Speedway, or another short track oval. That might be quite fun to do in the future. But in the meantime, we're at the nice flowing bends of the Laguna Seca road course, and definite vibes of the Spa 24-hour race, which will be on next weekend, I believe. And we have, I believe, 3 cars from the SRE team, featuring some of the drivers you're going to see on this broadcast and the broadcast on Sunday. So hopefully we'll bring you the news on the Malaysian contingent going to the Spa 24-hour iRacing event. That's going to be some exciting moves there, so do stay tuned to Adrenaline Impact, to Sim Racing Enthusiasts Malaysia, and yeah, we hope to see you guys on that. So that's coming soon in iRacing Asia news. Looks like the guys are going to have quite a lot of fun, because the Spa 24-hour race is for GT3 cars, and they're quite easy going in endurance racing context. It can be quite fun to drive, and as I understand it, we've got some very, very quick drivers from this series competing in that one. So yeah, nothing's been absolutely concrete confirmed yet, but hopefully we'll be able to bring you some action from the Spa 24-hour race coming soon. In the meantime, though, we have this battle between Saiful Arifin and Shami Aizan for the lead of the race right here and right now in Laguna Seca. For those of you wondering, Laguna Seca in Monterey, California, is one of the what's known as the Swinging 60s group of racetracks that came up here. Laguna Seca is the only one that survived, but there was Ontario Motor Speedway and Riverside, which was the first place in America ever to host a Formula 1 event.
Ilham's up to 6 already.
So there we go, he is doing yet another typical YouTuber move, the last to first challenge. We might have to give him a job in WTF1. Why this man wasn't chosen to be in the virtual Grand Prix, I'm not too sure, but it looks like he might be able to take another position coming into the first corner up ahead here, because he's very close to the back of Ahmad Norazam. And yeah, 2.9 seconds. That is less than a blink of an eye. He's going to be looking to defend.
They're
Norazam
both
will be
leaders
looking
in the
to defend.
championship right now. Ilham and
Ilham
Norazam.
Labi. So yeah, this is the battle for the champ. Well, the practice for the battle for the championship. I keep forgetting there's the FP1 because the battle and the racing is just as good as it is going to be on Sunday. Except, of course, on Sunday the stakes are going to be raised quite a bit. So you join us there for free practice 21 minutes and 20 seconds out of 30. About 9.5 minutes remaining in the race, and looks like Shami Aizan and Saiful Arifin are battling it out. And these two first and second positions, Ilham Halabi and Ahmad Norazam, they are first and second in the championship, and it looks like we're going to see a battle between the championship contenders for 5th position. Climbing up the hill here, you can see Ilham Halabi is definitely having to push the car quite a lot harder than he normally would if he's driving in clean air. Try and catch Norazam. He's really got to put the effort in. Ahmad Norazam there just clips the gravel. He's lost a bit of speed due to a lack of traction coming through there. You've got to watch each other coming through the rainy curves. Coming into the penultimate corner, car's getting a little bit sideways. They are nose to tail. Will Ilham Halabi try and go for an overtaking maneuver coming into the final corner? He won't, but Ahmad Norazam defends anyways. And now it's a case of who can get the best drive coming out of the final corner. It looks like Ilham Halabi manages to get a better drive. He is now trying to fill Ahmad Norazam's mirrors up as much as possible coming into the first corner. And down into the Andretti hairpin. Will he be able to go for the overtaking maneuver? No, Ilham backs out and tries to get him on the exit. Ahmad Norazam went a little bit deep into the corner there, and it looks like he's managed to get away with it. Ilham Halabi in 6th, Ahmad Norazam in 5th, and Ahmad's just stolen a couple hundredths of a second there in terms of gap to try and run away from Ilham Halabi. Ahmad Norazam, as you can see, definitely a man who shines more in the racing than in the qualifying sessions, and Ilham Halabi, of course, Mr. Last to First at this point in the championship. And as you can see there now, they're going up the hill, beginning to climb up very hard through this fast left-hand kick and run up into the corkscrew section. And it looks like Ilham Halabi is going to try and go around the outside. He's close enough to try and make a move through here. Will he be brave enough to do it? Will he do the Andretti dive? No, he decides against it. But he is definitely letting Ahmad Norazam know that he is right behind him. This is fantastic, good, clean, close quarters battle between these two drivers. Coming into the second to last corner. And it looks like a slight netcode error there from Ahmad Norazam, who's defending coming into the final corner, but it looks like Ilham Halabi is going to get the better drive. He almost has to back off to avoid hitting Ahmad Norazam on the apex of the corner there. Now, these defensive tactics from Ahmad Norazam looks like it's going to be a battle to remember coming down into the first corner. And look at Ilham Halabi really try and maximize and use all of the road that he can. Ahmad Norazam keeping the line tight to try and block off any overtaking maneuvers. This is absolutely fantastic bumper to bumper racing, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, yet more challenging racing here. Saiful Arifin, and this is for the lead. Shami Aizan is right ahead of Saiful Arifin. They are lining up. Will he try and go for an overtaking maneuver coming into the corkscrew section? Saiful Arifin decides to back off. Shami Aizan defends it, coming into the inside. And it looks like Saiful Arifin will have to wait for another opportunity to try and make that overtaking maneuver. Saiful Arifin there and just had to barely touch my drink throughout tonight. It's been very, very entertaining indeed, but it looks like Saiful Arifin there, he's close enough to try and do something, and it looks like Shami Aizan got the car a little bit sideways coming through there. He's not going to have the traction that Saiful Arifin has climbing up the hill. Saiful has just a little bit extra speed going up around the top. He's going around the outside of Shami Aizan. Samir's got the defensive line if he needs it. He comes into the corner there and he just about makes it through. Both cars giving each other plenty of space. He's there, and both cars live to see another lap. It looks like we're going to go to a lap 17 or lap 18 in terms of race distance over this course of half an hour. Perhaps 24 laps to 25 laps for Sunday's 45-minute special. Afizul Jaida down in 4th position. He's beginning to catch up again to Dominic. They're up there in 3rd position. Dominic's just fallen off the end of the field. 26 minutes, 27 seconds gone in this 30-minute race. There's only really 4 minutes or so of battling left. Looks like Jezrin Jali there, right behind Faiz. Will he be able to make an overtaking maneuver stick? He's trying to fill Faiz's mirrors up as much as possible. As Tunku Ezan is up ahead as well, so this is going to be a very interesting battle for 7th position. Ezan's got to really concentrate, and so does Faiz. Faiz is in a really bad position because he's trying to attack Ezan, and Jezrin is trying his hardest to try and get past Faiz. But meanwhile, Shami Aizan and Shaiful Arifin briefly swapped positions there, and it looks like Shaiful's lost a lot of time, so they tried to have an overtaking maneuver, I believe, coming into the final corner. And it remains to be seen if he can get that position once again. It looks like he... Oh! Shami Aizan had big moment going through the corkscrew section there, which just enabled Shaiful Arifin to get briefly ahead, but now they're back into their position, 1st and 2nd. That's some spectacular driving through there, and it looks like Shaiful Arifin is right behind Shami Aizan. That's a 0.1 second. That's 1/10 of a second. That's less than a blink of an eye as he goes for the dive bomb. Will there be enough space? There's contact between Shaiful Arifin and Shami Aizan. Shami has spun off the road. That is dramatic stuff, and cars all over the track trying to avoid him. But it looked like Shaiful Arifin, he managed to get the line, get into the corner there, but Shami Aizan didn't quite leave him enough room and just got tapped out of the way there. That's pretty gutting stuff for Shami Aizan. He was in the lead for so long during the race here, and now it looks like Shaiful Arifin has managed to gain that position again. But it looks like Shaiful Arifin managed to claim the inside line just as Shami Aizan tried to go for like a late apex. Unfortunately, the spotter must have not told him in time, or something happened, which made him drop back down. And Shaiful Arifin now has inherited 1st position from Dominic Am, Afizul Jai and Shamir Aizan, with Ilham Halabi in 5th position, 10 seconds behind. It looks like with 1 minute to go, Ilham Halabi might not be able to break into the lead there. But as we see, that's an overtaking maneuver and a half around the outside of someone who's completely lost it going through the corkscrew section. Ilham Halabi, a man that's far braver than I am. He's managed to get himself into 5th position. Meanwhile, Afizul Jai is now putting a lot of pressure on Dominic Ang. Will Afizul Jai be able to move up 1 step on the podium? It looks like both drivers can now see Shaiful Arifin. It looks like he's had to back off, perhaps the tyre wear just got to that car in front. And it looks like Afizul Jai was very close to Dominic Ang. Both cars are beginning to close in on Shaiful Arifin. Dominic made a mistake there coming out of the final corner before the left-hand kink and the climb up to the corkscrew section there. That's going to give Afizul Jai an opportunity to try and close up. But meanwhile, Shaiful Arifin looks like he's really slowed down a bit there. And looks like there was a problem there with Shaiful's car. He slowed down quite a lot. Dominic Ang was caught unawares there and had to really slam on the brakes there to try and avoid Shaiful Arifin. Afizul Jai is right behind him. Is this Shaiful Arifin trying to engineer an exciting finish to the race? I'm not too sure. But all 3 cars are very, very close to each other. This is lap 18. This is going to be the final lap of the race, the final corner of the race. Cars are going to come side by side. Will it be Saiforifin in the lead? Yes. That must be one of the closest finishes we've had for any Adrenaline Impact Race, Invitational or Series. Saiforifin has won from Dominic Ang by a margin of 1/10 of a second, with Afizul Jai a further 1.9 tenths behind. All three cars crossed that start-finish line in less than a blink of an eye. That is how close everyone was. Sami Aizan was 3.9 seconds behind. Ilham Halabi didn't quite catch up. He's only 4.8 seconds behind the leaders at the end, though, in 5th. Aman Razam, real pity for him. He is down in 6th position. Tengku Ezan 7th. Jazrin Jali in 8th. Followed by Faiz Azril. And Farizal there is going to come across the line in 11th position. Ruben Wan follows him in 12th. And that's Tamizi Yusuf in 13th, followed by Cheryl Norafuddin and Eddie Adrian coming up now to the final corner. That was a very interesting finish to the race. Saiforifin looked like it was going to be quite a dominating win for the last 2 laps with 2.5 seconds gap. That was quite a lot, but it looked like the car slowed down quite a bit through that final lap. I'm not too sure if there was a problem with the car or maybe he was just grandstanding a bit. And there we go, our final finisher of the race, Michael Hafiz. They're crossing the line in 17th position. He was the last of the lead lap runners. So that is our results. Saiful Arifin, winner by 0.105 seconds from Dominic Ang. In 2nd position, Afizul Jai in 3rd, followed by Shami Aizan, Ilham Lawi, Aman Razam, Tuku Ezan Lay, Jason Jali, Faiz Azlan, Azril Nazli in 10th position, Farizal Akmal in 11th. Whew.
We got Ruben Wong in 12th, Tarmizi Yusuf in 13th, Charil Norafuddin in 14th, Eddie Adrian in 15th place, and Shopian Said in 16th, followed by Michael Hafiz and Rashid Raidal in 18th. After that, we got a few guys more. Freddy Ang, unluckily he maybe got problem in the early stages there, and Shukran.
Yeah.
Shukran finished 21st, followed by Faizal Alang. Melvin finished 23rd. That's quite weird.
That's quite low down for him. I think he may have had some problems either with his sim or with perhaps early contact in the race. Perhaps that's very unfortunate for him. And Nazmi Mazri there in 24th position, 13 laps down. I think he may have just started the car for raced a couple of laps and then started spectating again. But there's not enough light to take any pictures this evening, so they've just gone directly into the... How did he get there?
That's weird.
That's amazing. I just saw briefly, I don't know who it was, but one car on the other side of the barriers driving down the road like he was going back home from work. That's pretty spectacular stuff. One thing's for sure, you may say these guys aren't that good at racing. Trust me, they are very good at racing. But one thing you can definitely not say about them is that they are definitely experts in demolition derbies.
Okay.
See, I think that might have been Michael there with the blown engine.
Yeah, I think his workshop is quite furious about. I think today I think he blew 2 engines already.
Well, yeah, that's quite impressive. Michael,
Yo.
Cil,
apa khabar? Kenapa meletup banyak sangat enjin ni?
Okay.
So apa perasaan bawa night race ni?
Oh, dia lain macam sebab skrin kiri kanan gelap. Nampak tengah-tengah je.
Rasa seram tak?
Takut sikit, tiba-tiba asal gelap ni kan, asal gelap. Cil melakukan satu kesilapan yang sangat teruk tadi.
Alamak, apa terjadi?
Aduh, jump start. Sebab tadi waktu grading baru habis rokok, duduk,
Oops.
Sekali tengok dia nak start lah. Tengah betul-betulkan clutch dulu. Sekali dah lampu dah nyala. Terus masuk gear. So jam start lah, black flag kena masuk 2 saat. So itulah dia punya ni, kena ready lah. Sentiasa ready. Tapi okey lah malam ni tak tertinggal satu lap. Still habiskan perlombaan. Ada sedikit insiden dengan Faizal Alang tadi sikit.
Ya, itu yang kita unfortunately kita dapat ternampak tu. Masa tu kita baru je switch kamera kepada kamu, tengah kejar Faizal Alang, lepas tu corner sebelum corkscrew tu kamu tersentuh ya.
Faizal Alang tak tersentuh. Itu waktu qualifying ke?
Series.
Masa race.
Masa race sebelum last turn. Second
situ.
last turn. Second last turn tu sebab tengah fight kan. So Cil termasuk, dia belah dalam, dia belah luar. Dulu masuk, mungkin Cil tak bagi dia ruang sangat, tak cukup ruang. So berlakulah pelanggaran kat situ.
Ni dengan siapa ni Cil ni?
Dengan Faizal Alang, boy.
Tak, ni dengan siapa ni depan ni?
Hafiz
Yang mana?
1112 dia. Yang accident last lap.
Oh, dengan Jasri Junus.
Jasri. Cil pressure dia. Dan berjaya pressure.
Sakit. Teruk juga dia punya pressure.
Oh tadi. Mana tadi? Sini dekat dekat sini lah. Tak jap.
Tak, itu masa donat.
Ni dah habis.
Tak tengah rewind balik. Tak apa, kita cari depan. Kalau depan kau duduk belakang Faizal Alang lama ke?
3 lap, 4 lap kot. Sebab Cim memang duduk belakang Jasri. Lepas tu ada satu dekat turn tu yang mula-mula Cim duduk belakang Jasri. Dan Cim buat mistake mistake waktu dekat turn yang naik bukit tu, yang tak nak baik kan. So lepas tu dah berboosting situ, kena potong. So dapat kejar Jasri balik. Jasri pula mistake.
Alamak.
Kau kejar boy bila kau kejar Faizal Alang?
Dalam
tengah-tengah
dalam 10 lap last kot.
Oh okey. Lepas Jasri tu lah.
Lepas accident memang follow belakang Faiz. Gua tengok macam mana.
Sebab kita cuba cari tu, kita ada fan yang agak besar. Calvin Ha. Chill.
Oh, Kevin tak ada ke mana ni?
Tak ada.
Calvin Ha tak ada.
Dia tengah pasang rig tadi ni.
Aduh, patut tak ada jumpa dia, tak langgar dia tadi.
Nak cakap terima kasih kepada bos Kevin Ha bagi RAM kat kita. RAM lama.
Thank you.
RAM lama dia sedekah kat kita.
Yalah, dia
Terima kasih.
sampai 64 gig berapa banyak kan?
32 je dia bagi. Okey dah tu.
Rasanya Faizal Alang depan ni kot. Cuba tengok tunggu. Rasanya tak apa. Ni lap ke berapa?
Tak tahu, aku tak pasti dia lihat berapa ni. Sekejap.
Okay, ni Jasri ni. Ni Jasri.
Lepas Jasri dia.
Ni dah last ni.
Oh, dia tengah race kan.
Okey, sekejap ni lap incident. Okey, sekejap playback. Aku pun tak ada nak check lap berapa sekejap.
Tapi ada soalan penting juga. Laguna Seca ke Karak Highway lama? Mana lagi seram?
Karak bukan race track. So Karak sentiasa seram. Ni
Laguna
kat sini kot. Dalam lap yang depan-depan ni lah. Tengok Rashid dia main tipu, dia langgar.
Ni boy depan ni.
Ni boy. Tak lama lagi ni. Tak lama.
Rashid Raidel ni tu sebenarnya bukan dia langgar kon, dia ada kon dalam kereta dia. Dia nak baling style Mario Kart.
Kon yang lebih-lebih buat defensive driving simpan dalam kereta
Dia lupa nak clearkan kereta, parking kat dalam kereta kan.
Macam mana skrutennya tak tengok ni? Okey,
tadi skrutennya dia pergi keluar ke kedai mamak, lambat balik. So kita paskan kereta semua.
Okey, sekarang tengah pressure Faizal boy. Dia boy tak dapat nak potong kat sini.
Tapi kau dapat naik sampai 16 tadi je.
Tak pasti. Rasanya dapat dalam belas kot. Lepas tu drop. So okey lah. Start belakang, masuk pit. Tapi okey. Insiden yang tak teruk lah. Tak payah repair kan. Tak payah tow kan.
Faizal Alang baru race ketiga minggu ni tau. Kira rasanya dia install iRacing semata-mata join IFC. So apa pendapat, apa komen kau sebagai yang dah senior sikit pada dia? Itu je kejadiannya.
So macam rasa benda ni Boy memang pemandu yang baik. So dia boleh bawa semua game, rally boleh bawa, GTS pun dia boleh bawa. Banyak.
Asal kau begitu?
Tak cukup break.
Macam rindu rallycross lah tu.
So memang dia serba boleh lah. Dia boleh bawa kereta tengit semua kan. So dia pun tak selalu main pun boleh fight juga. Tak ada berpusing-pusing sangat. Kira iRacing yang MX5 ni memang sangat tricky kan. Sebab kita kena faham dia punya karakteristik kereta tu. Kalau kita tengok tak boleh nak push sangat. Kena gentle steering. Kalau tengok Ilham bawa pun steering dia sangat minimum, dia punya steering angle tu. So
itulah dia orang maksudkan bila dia orang cakap steer from the rear, pakai throttle untuk adjust steering. Itu yang unik pasal MX5 ni kan.
Betul.
Cil, kau tengok gelap-gelap ni kau teringat SNF aja.
Zaman legend tu.
2015 last kali race malam, tapi tu hujan. Jadi aku tengok awan gelap macam nak hujan, tapi tak hujan.
Sebab iRacing tak ada hujan.
Dah bombo lambat datang.
Kalau hujan memang melombu lah semua kan. So tadi jom kita tengok dekat insiden yang berlaku tadi.
Aku nak tengok satu benda je ni. Macam mana Ilham daripada belakang dia boleh sampai ke nombor 4.
Potong sampai.
Tengok tu dia keluar.
Siapa ke depan tu? Jasri.
Sekarang ni nombor 20. Kau tengok dia potong selamba-selamba je. Kita forward
Dia relax, dia tunggu keluar. Dia tak terburu-buru untuk potong. Walaupun dia boleh potong, tapi dia relax dulu, bagi heat up tayar semua dulu kan.
Satu dia naik satu.
Tayar dah mula panas ni. Ni dah macam cerita taksi je lah.
Okay, dia potong lagi. Selamba je dia potong je
Itulah.
Ada tak dia potong 2 biji sekali? Kadang-kadang ada accident tu dapat potong 2-3 biji sekali kan.
Dia ni dah lama main, pengalaman. So dia tahu macam mana game ni. Kita orang yang baru ni eager nak potong secepat mungkin. So dia tunggu peluang yang baik. Dia carry speed, dia boleh potong dekat straight line ataupun corner yang besar macam tu kan.
Paling lama dia fighter dengan Norazam lah.
Ya.
Ni dia kosong di depan dia. Kau tengok lagi dia kejar Norazam depan ni. Izan. Tak apa, kita tengok insiden ada malam ni playback balik. Macam okey, ramai yang crash sendiri je. Ni
itulah biasa untuk praktis. Jasri Junus. Habis belajar.
Kau ni first lap berjadi je. Kau elak dia
Okey juga, biasanya kalau dah tercicir kat pasir kat situ memang spin.
Come on, kita pakai direct drive lah sekarang.
Itulah bezanya. Boleh buat iklan ni.
Pakai timing mungkin tak laju, tapi dia lebih kawalan. Nietzsche kena pit in 2 saat sebab
penalty.
Jam start. So terimalah nak buat macam mana kan. Dah kena penalty. So banyak
dan itu
sampai last kali ni.
Kita ada komen daripada Syamil Aizan. Tough fight dengan Alif Lam Mim. Itu dia Marvin Dejit Singh. Wow.
Melvin malam ni mungkin bukan hari dia. Tadi satu Discord dengan dia tadi. So
kau tumpang bilik doang lagi
aku tumpang. Aku tak buka lagi aku punya room.
Kau kalau buka
Belum
room
buka lagi.
kau buka room kau siapa yang masuk? Ilham tak ada, tak masuk Discord. Siapa yang lagi masuk Discord kau? Dengan Ajab tak ada lah ni.
Ajab bertarif. So tak apa lah, tumpangi room orang. Apa dah tahan. Kau boleh.
Jadi macam sister team lah ni.
Ni Melvin tadi.
Wah. Macam mana dia tak spin
Apa jadi?
Wait.
Apa jadi dekat ni? Dekat Uncle Rydell ni.
Acid. Uncle Acid. Dia mungkin dah tinggi naik ke?
Tapi selekon ni memang agak susah untuk dapatkan dia punya line cantik.
Okey, dia ternaik ke. Dia throttle awal kot. Dia throttle dekat curb kan, kat pasir. Track ni dia banyak yang selalu yang off track. Sebab dia, kita nak carry speed, nak laju, tapi senang off track sebab dia semuanya kira high speed kan.
Ni betul-betul potong
Langgar. Langgar benda tu memang
Kesian damper tu.
Becik api tu. Tengok slow mo lagi, rewind.
Tapi apa fizik yang dia orang guna brake belakang yang menyala ni?
Kereta ni brake depan racing, brake belakang standard.
Belakang brake pad standard.
Ilham Halabi komen Tyrod band confirm. Eddie Adrian komen Laguna Seca koyak. Unfortunately macam tu lah. Syukran. Malam tayar licin lah. Baru fun.
Dia tak licin Syukran. Waktu aku pakai G29 memang rasa licin. Tapi pakai DB dia rasa ada grip kat depan tu.
So kesimpulan dia kena DD
tak, dia ke orang macam orang-orang lama, macam orang lama yang dah main macam Ipin, Ilham, Melvin semua kan. Diorang dah boleh agak kereta tu pergi mana apa semua. So macam driver yang baru, kita tak ada idea lagi kereta tu nak pergi mana kan. So bila pakai DD ni, kita dapat rasa yang dekat steering tu memang nak buang lah. Okey dah ni So memang
bukan saja daripada segi keberatan tapi putiran dia. Dia punya detail dia. So bila kita corner ni, kita macam nak counter sikit. Kita dah boleh nak agak nak counter mana. Kita ada dekat apa sense dia ada dekat steering, dekat tangan kita tu. Dah macam one to one lah dia punya rasaan dia.
Force feedback pun buka tadi sampai 20 lebih Newton meter ni. Ke tak tahu lah, unit dalam
dalam Newton meter lah.
FFB 20 plus lah. So memang pakai auto je. Mula-mula memang kita cuba turunkan kepada 11. Tapi rasa macam something wrong lah. So auto kan balik. So dapatkan
rasa balik lah. So kita ada komen daripada Jai Bluebird tengah race anak-anak berkelahi nangis tadi.
Alah tapi kita buat podium lah.
Tengku Izan, Jeff don't watch. Jeff watch.
Just join. Tengku Izan.
Jeff don't watch, just join.
Jom tengok video lain. Kau jangan
kau nak tengok. Tak ada. Aku tengah aku tengah cari ni.
Ilham Labi, yes chill. Sim sense dia kat tangan. Real life drivers kat bontot. Betul. I mean not only bontot lah. Dia ada extra komen tu dah. Klarifikasi. Bukan saja sense kat bontot, sense of danger pun ada. Ahmad Urazam, kita tengok apa insiden tu.
Daripada overtake dia tadi.
Okay.
Banyak
So siapa yang ada berlaku insiden nak replay, bagi tahu dekat komen sekarang, so kita boleh replay, so kita boleh hantam diorang sebelum race hari Ahad ni.
Tamizi masuk last minute tadi tu.
Walaupun tadi 10 lebih baru on, sempat masuk practice kejap. Waktu qualifying tak dapat clock sebab ada terlanggar, siapa tadi terlanggar dekat kat school tu, kecil ada terlanggar, bukan dia tak langgar lagi tau, macam net code. So budak member ke depan ke lepas, so dia tak kira time tu. So start belakang.
Itulah dia. So pada hari Ahad nanti apa harapan?
Ahad ni kita harapkan ramai yang join, full grid. Dan tadi macam starting macam okey tau. Starting tadi sangat sopan. Dekat turn 1 tu tadi semua berjaga-jaga, semua maintain slow dulu kan. So selepas tu turn yang lepas tu baru ada insiden rasanya. Insiden sendiri ya kan ni.
Adrian tadi ni.
Abang Azril
Ya, dengan 2 kereta URT.
dengan siapa? Dengan
Freddy,
what are you doing?
Freddy kan Ruben lah. Sekejap, zoom sekejap.
Ruben?
24.
24.
24 Ruben.
Itu yang tengok tadi atas ni. Sorry.
Siapa impede siapa ni?
Dia macam tengah nak braking line.
Aku rasa macam oversteer tu Ruben tu.
Oversteer. Ini kat marker nombor berapa? Cuba tengok dekat marker nombor berapa. Rasanya situ belum
dah braking kot. Nampak dia punya kereta 24 tu dah sideways sikit kan.
So hati-hati ya guys. Boleh jadi oversteer kat kereta ni
Ya. Okay, kita ada komen daripada Adrian. Ahad ni time malam juga ke?
Tak. Saja je.
Tapi kalau malam nice juga tau. Cuma broadcast tak nampak apa lah
Yalah, broadcast tak nampak apa.
Saudara Nora Fudin pula komen, janganlah malam, tak nampak turn, bukalah lampu.
Naikkan apa, kontras.
Ya.
Brightness, kontras lah, brightness.
Syukran, kena tap tu. Ya, betul.
Okay.
Apa depan tu jadi tu? Tadi tu lah. Ni semua yang tadi, insiden sama.
Cuma Fariza Akmal, orang belakang high beam. Tu sebab accident dia.
Malam Estan Drama, Tengok Ilham sampai waktu tengah clear. Memang
rezeki dia.
Overtake 3-4 kereta je kat situ kan.
So tu adalah apa strategi masing-masing lah. So tapi Ilham boleh buat sebab dia ada pace. Dia ada pace, dia timing dia pun laju. So di start belakang pun kalau dia relax, bila clear dia boleh push. Tapi kalau orang macam yang slow, orang baru macam kecil semua, kalau duduk belakang start lah macam mana pun, belakang ke tengah ke depan ke dia still tak adalah result macam dia kan.
Tapi itulah
sip time.
Tapi sekurang-kurangnya dapatlah alien satu kat dalam tim Todak. Mesti pun rasa happy lah.
Macam dorang ni macam nampak Ilham potong je macam memang bagi je.
Kita bagi tu confirm dipotong.
Tak macam senang je dia potong. Tengok dia potong pinggul tak.
Tapi itu pun nampaknya macam dia bagi ruang. So dia tak adalah terpaksa-paksa.
Sebab kita boleh tengok apa dia punya apa relative box tu kan. So kebanyakannya orang bila tahu orang yang laju tu biasa dia orang akan bagilah. Sebab memang dah tahu dia laju. So kalau nak fight kak
Lagipun dia bekerja sama juga. Ilham Halabi pun akan bagi
tu,
ruang
macam-
cukupan.
Tu cara cakap orang laju, kita jangan halang kan.
Ya. Adrian komen best battle dengan Saiful Arifin tadi. Ya betul lah.
Korang yang laju-laju kat depan tu memang best of battle.
William Tan, Jerry William idola. Siapa? Michael jadi idola ke?
bukan. Okay,
Syaril Norafudin, orang laju kita jangan halang.
dalam ni apa, kadang insiden dah 14 normal battle. Okay. Chel sempat follow belakang Syukran tadi. So tengok apa banyak off track kan. Bila off track tu yang
Tingkatkan point tu kan.
tingkatkan point tu. Tapi okey, race malam ni biasa kita practice yang breaking point pun jadi lebih lambat. Kan? Jadi lebih lambat. Jadi macam tapi
Sebab suhu track tu semakin kurang kan.
tengok tayar tadi ada 100% lagi bila dah habis. Macam kenapa dia tak makan tayar?
Aduh,
Ya,
Jel,
itu.
bajak lagi Jel.
Ni tadi kau memang suka ambil bajak aku.
Ramai orang suka bajak.
So
Sebab
ni favorite apa
siap langgar lagi.
section.
Favorite untuk spin dah. Syukran 14 time incident dah chill, brightness low tak set. Itulah.
Oh, okay. Tak sangka lah race malam kan. 30 lap
Ya,
30 lap tadi. 20 lap.
30 minit.
Syukran kita boleh nasihatkan dia sikit. Ada masa lagi 48 jam boleh masuk official race, practice sekali. Dapatkan flow dia macam mana kan. Tapi dia official race siang lah kan.
Ya.
So, kita boleh confirmkan race hari Ahad ni adalah siang. Don't worry. Kalau geng rally dah takut dah ni kalau race malam, alamak lampu habis.
Geng rally tengok tengok driver mana. Saya suka malam sebenarnya. Kecuali kalau lampu rosak.
Oh ni best ni. Sekejap, rewind sikit.
Oh, ni fight antara Saiful Arifin dengan Syamil Aizan. So
Agak dramatis juga.
dramatik juga. So tengok ni turn mana? Turn 3.
Map aku dah tak jalan ni, aku off lah.
Turn 4.
Okay.
So dia lost control lah tu lah.
Oh, turn ni naik. Oh, turn ni orang
Uphill.
Oh, turn yang ni.
Incident lah. Racing incident.
Iyalah.
So yang bestnya tengok apa jadi sekejap lagi. Nanti dia potong balik rasanya kan?
Ya.
Jangan balik ke apa?
Tak, Syamil Aizan tu dia dekat lagi satu tu.
Oh yelah dia dah drop 3 places lah.
Places. Yang sebelum ni yang Syamil Aizan dengan Saiful Arifin dah off track dekat
yelah sebelum ni kan. Dia
bukan off track lah, tapi dia potong dekat corkscrew sekejap.
dia switch places kejap kan.
Valentine Jerry William, alamak ada Jai lah. Kenapa takut ke?
Jai di mana-mana. Jai Bluebird di mana-mana.
Anywhere and everywhere. Ilham Halabi, oversteer ke tu? Oversteer.
Dia semakin hujung tadi Cil, semakin susah nak bawa ke sama aja?
Macam sama je. Tak ada sebab
Tayar masih hidup lagi lah.
tayar 100% lagi. Tak tinggi sangat. Tak tahulah, tengok tayar tu bila dah habis. Tak tahulah bila dah habis dia dah reset balik, tak tahu lah kan. Patutnya tayar yang actual lah.
Oh, dia off track juga ni. Belakang dia siapa?
Tahulah tak ada rumput kat track ni, tapi tak payahlah baca kan. Memang dekat gurun kot. Pada pasir.
Dom, belakang Dom siapa? Belakang Dom
Jai.
Oh Jai fighter hari ni.
Jai itu
Bagus
Jai-
kan, nampak dia ada dia punya spirit tu.
Jai dah test rig kecil hari tu. Dia dapat feedback bila kita FFB ni kita naikkan, dia jadi lagi senang bawa, dia cakap.
Senang baca kereta.
Ya. Takuizan, jangan lupa rally boy, tak lupa. Kalau ada siapa ada footage untuk kita punya rally championship, kita dah change dia punya format sikit. So setiap weekend from Friday 3pm to Sunday 3pm kita akan bukakan access untuk satu rally. Dan mungkin kalau kita ada masa nanti kita akan cuba collectkan dia punya footage dan kita akan review lah. Mungkin pada Isnin ke apa kan.
Oh ni aku rasa Ipin saja ni. ambil gambar ni.
Itu yang terfikir tadi macam kenapa dia slow tiba ni. Saja je.
Eddie cakap saya tadi makan 10 to 15%. Aku terpaksa pit masa white flag tadi. Sempat check. Okay, mungkin nak check tu waktu dekat dalam race kot dah habis dia.
Automatik balik ke 100 ke.
Mungkin tak logik lah. Berapa lama kan tak habis kan.
Itulah kalau 100% tu dia punya mole marking pun masih ada. Stiker belum tanggal lagi tu.
Boleh jual saya dulu.
Okay guys, nak announce siapa yang masih tengok ni. Ui, asal live stream kita semakin ramai tengok. Time dah habis race lagi ramai tengok.
Ya, itulah sebab nampak dia punya incident dan accident.
Okay, kita nak announce ada satu macam aktiviti kita dalam AIMC ni, which is apa tadi nama dia kita nak buat ni, top 10 dekat top 10.
Yeah, for this championship kita akan buat interesting moments. Kita akan buat macam apa nak kata, macam
share your moments lah.
Yeah, dan nak buat compilation. So kalau ada siapa-siapa yang sudi nak nominatekan klip untuk masuk ke dalam kita punya top 10 compilation, silakan. Kalau ada yang lawa, ada yang battle, close fight ataupun accident besar-besar ke, ataupun
potong klip dia bawah 30 saat lah kalau boleh. Ataupun kalau dah siap video yang recorded video lagi bagus. Kalau tak ada recorded video tapi ingat lap mana within race 1, 2 atau 3 yang baru lepas ni, kita try bantu dapatkan lah. Just kita nak buat compilation, just macam benda-benda menarik berlaku masa round 1 ni lah kan. Yang hanya masa official race saja ya. Bukan masa practice, bukan masa free practice, bukan masa qualifying. Kalau kita ambil masa yang race footages. So itulah, saya pun akan nominate satu klip iaitu di lap kedua kalau tak silap di Okayama bila Calvin Ha cuba terbang pakai Mazda MX5. Levitating Mazda. Aku nak tunjuk kau satu benda Cel yang pelik sangat berlaku hari ni. Masa siang tadi.
Tu.
Sekejap. Ni race finish. Sekejap.
Waktu qualifying ke apa?
Masa qualifying. Sekejap
Ada kereta tersangkut dekat pagar. Aku dengar dalam Discord dulu. Woi, masa kereta terpagar. dekat corkscrew tu kan.
Terpajar tu. Macam mana dia dapat dia punya setting untuk lompat kat situ?
Apa punya? Apa? Ipin ke?
Ipin. Sekejap.
Belakang.
Ni dah race ni. Sekejap Ni qualify
Qualify ke?
Qualify ni siang gini.
So sekarang dia tengah main-main.
Bukan ni sekejap Dia last lap dia kan, lap qualifying lap kan.
Dia sampai habis.
Okay, dia dah habis qualify lah. Tak, ni masa qualify ke practice tadi Practice kot.
Practice lah, aku rasa practice. Sebenarnya practice.
Practice.
Rekod dari live stream bukan saja pun boleh, tapi digalakkan kita nak dapatkan dia punya reaction. So itu lagi satu, kalau dapatkan klip daripada live stream anda lagi cun, especially kalau kita dapatkan reaction yang raw tu, memang sedap. Kita akan letak ke dalam top 10. Kita akan buat for end of season show nanti. So do stick around and watch that.
Raw is war.
Berapa lap lah dia jalan? Dah terlepas dah. Dah malam dah.
Ke yang lagi satu tu?
Ni dah habis qualifying ni ke?
Practice ke?
Aku pun dah tak ingat. Okay, practice.
Practice final lap. Just fast forward.
Forward je. Sekejap, aku boleh scroll lap ni. Dia turn 1 kan?
Tapi masalahnya kalau kau scroll lap, kata
Tak
bukan
nampak.
turn 1, dia dekat corkscrew.
Sebelum kau screw.
Apalah aku tengok.
Dia just cari final lap lah. Final lap, lepas tu kau fast forward dekat corkscrew.
Ni kot. Sekejap.
Diorang memang suka langgar benda oren tu
Murah. Agak sini.
Oh.
Itu balik. Gostan.
Tengah gostan dia ni.
Kata dia, itu satu juga. Dia memang suka buat stun itu terbang. Ni terbang ni. Tapi tak lepas pagar lah yang ni.
Dia nak cuba lah ni.
Ni mungkin kalau ada kereta laju boleh kot. Dia pakai curb dengan dia punya camber.
Dia memang tak corner, dia memang nak jump.
Kerja dia tu.
Wow. Tong. Itu.
Sikit lagi nak
Dia nak try lompat tinggi, tak dapat.
Tayar kanan tersangkut. Aduh, sikit lagi.
Aduh.
Tapi dia betul balik.
Tak, dia sangkut. Dia nampak tak sangkut.
Dia masuk sebelah kan, lepas tu dia betulkan balik, lepas tu naik ke atas. Sebab dia parking memang macam sopan je.
Dia tak nak mengganggu orang lain.
Dia
parking lah kasi, tengok MPSJ kalau dia boleh saman ke tak.
Tapi masalahnya dia duduk situ lama. Okey, dah gelap lah track. Apa tu, Marshall semua dah balik. Cil, kau dah kemas barang pun dekat pit?
Tak apa. Aku besok ada race lagi, so tinggalkan.
Kau suruh Roy dengan Gan kemas tu. Kesian diorang, kau tak ajak ke diorang melumba sekali? Aduh. Aku rasa kan, masa race nanti kau suruh diorang duduk sebelah kau. Lepas tu kau live stream, bagi diorang masuk dalam kamera sekali. Baru best.
Tak boleh live stream nanti dia akan internet akan kacau.
So kau tak live.
Baik, relax je. Tak, sebab tu bila race aku tak streaming.
Okay, tak apa. Kita ada TV kat sini boleh cover. Okay guys.
Dan TV pun kita akan parking kat sini saja untuk malam ini.
Matt, kita nak share dekat mana video-video tu. So kita akan galakkan orang masuk dalam Adrenaline Impact Group Adrenaline Impact Group. Boleh post kat situ. Facebook. Memang belum ramai lagi members kat situ. Silakan masuk, kita boleh akan approve immediately. Sebab yang lagi satu group Adrenaline Impact Championship itu adalah untuk official announcement participant lah. So kita tak nak galakkan benda-benda macam tu kat situ supaya orang boleh alert apa announcement kita nak buat. So guys, Michael, thank you sudi join live stream dan selamat good luck for hari Ahad ni.
Okay.
Kau esok family day ke practice?
Esok kita layan family lah. Tak ada apa racing ni kita kena man-man. Jangan terlampau ni sangat. Tapi spend lah sejam atau dua untuk racingan. Jangan lebih lah. Sebab jangan buat macam waktu PKP. Nanti apa kerja pun tak jadi ni.
Itu dia.
Cil, best time kau kat track ni dah berapa dah Cil sekarang?
Dah 142 waktu siang tadi. Tapi yang malam ni tak. Yang petang tadi kan yang waktu practice kan tak dapat nak practice. So beza dengan waktu kita practice sebelum tu. So tak dapat nak detect punya breaking point semua kan. So tu tak dapat nak buat. Kalau ikut kan betul-betul boleh laju sikit lah kot. Sebab track sejuk kan. Okey lah, okey. Sebenarnya dah dapat pace lah dekat track ni. Tapi cuma tak boleh nak konsisten lagi.
Alright, guys. Matt, please wrap this live stream.
Okay, special thanks to our director Kara Alang, to our inside man Michael Hafiz. Special thanks to our sponsors, Works Engineering, Oregon
Thank you.
Engineering, Stream.my, Simology, Pico Media, Sim Racing Enthusiasts, Todak Motorsports, and Interformula. And it's a special thanks from me, the commentator Matthew Palmer. We will see you 5th of July this Sunday for what's going to be a very exciting race. So stick around, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. But for now, it's goodbye. Tora.
Hi, I'm Matt from Interformula, and welcome to our Research and Development Center. We do all forms of research and development, all the way from designing and developing our own race cars, to simulators, to running cars in racing series and rallying all over the world. We also do a lot in the Asian Classic Car Championship, so do look out for us. For any information, do contact us with the number down below.